Hello, this is a video on the Andromedans. Actually, they have made contact to me through channeling 2 times now, and last night I had a very vivid dream of going to the Andromedan land. But I'm just going to actually read my channeling, my very first contact channeling, and a little bit of my second contact, and then I'm going to describe my dream that I had last night. So I'm going to skip over the introduction of when they were channeling me and just kind of get right to the point. But you are there to develop a strength within yourself so that you can transmit that energy and allow others to learn and feed off of your teachings. You have been here before to fulfill a similar mission, but was sent back home due to the vital circumstances of your alternative higher self. You are one who absorbs negative energy and transmits it into light energy. Your last mission was a trial run. We have done many alterations to your mind and body to help you fully fulfill your purpose on planet Earth. It sees that evolution has altered drastically while on this planet, so we have been making minor adjustments throughout dream time and your waking life so that your brain does not go into overload mode or extreme shock with heat waves. We wish to inform you that even though you are absorbing such negativity on this planet right now and cannot see the progress, bliss, or beauty, you are doing marvelous things on planet Earth. Ziana, that's what they keep calling me, or Shiana or Ziana. We are always watching and taking care of you and hope to give you ease by your very first written assembly. Your baby Zena is present and sends you voltages of love, of light and love electrons. You are missed exponentially on our planet, which we cannot reveal yet until next time. This is the image that they drew for me, which is funny because I've been drawing a lot of birds and bug type things with wings, so but I've never drawn anything like that. So yeah, that was the very first contact message I had ever received, and as they said, they brought up an individual named Zena, and when I was on my Mali trip, I painted the name Zena everywhere, which I'd never ever considered, heard of, or met anyone named that. So they allowed me to know who that was, and they revealed my name to me, which I don't know how I feel about that yet. And yeah, so that's the very first contact. My second contact was a few days later when I was at work, and I'll just roughly go over the introduction. I'm not going to read it again because the introductions are highly personal and involve my current circumstances, which you guys wouldn't fully understand. But I had a very, very difficult morning because my alarm didn't go off. I was late to work, and there was this anger and anxious emotion. And the very beginning of this, they're pretty much telling me that they were the ones who allowed this to happen because they were testing my emotions, and they were doing an experiment on melatonin levels and what time we wake up and how much we should transmit before, how do I explain this? How much melatonin and other chemicals should be released before we wake up so that our emotions can be manageable. And I don't know if that makes sense, but they wrote it down in a very scientific way that kind of makes me laugh because it just sounds insane, as most of this does. But anyways, so they just reinforced that what I was going through was it was planned and it was meant, and they were watching my emotions because that's how they see how humanity is doing, I guess, through me, is watching my emotions and my levels of stress. Okay, the next part says, our tunnel would like to discuss the effect of others on your planet. There are many individuals and light workers out there on the same wavelength as we have set for you. We wish for your soul and body to act accordingly with the universal flow and frequencies to allow higher self to melt into oneness, yet work as individual separate entities. There is much work to be done and acknowledged. Community and shared visions to develop hope is vital at this segment in time. Higher self is manifesting truth and wisdom in others so we can ignite a universal spark and flame of rejuvenation. We want to bring to your attention that we have not forgot about you. And then at this time, I started to fall out of it, and I looked at the clock, and they wrote in big letters, "Time does not matter. Please stay focused with us." You feel as if it is all being done for the benefit of them. But there is much in store for you as we see, Ziana. You will soon be receiving a gift to enhance your well-being for you and others. Communication is what we see fit for you. Don't lose hope. Allow for it to enter in its many ways. Fear not, for bliss is surely to come. Reporting live at 980 Star Clouds. Names are irrelevant. Don't get lost in illusion, please. I want to show you the handwriting too, because as I begin, if you can see this, as I begin, it's not terrible, but it's not the way I write. And increasingly, even in my journal, it gets more and more crazy. And I know that for a lot of you who have never even heard of being channeled through or ETs or anything like that, this sounds absolutely insane. And I know that it sounds insane because I once thought that, but until it actually surfaces right before your face and you're the one in relationship to it, then you have to just, for me, I had to just let go of my ego and say, you know what, this is what's happening, and if I seem or look insane, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so now I would like to talk about my dreams. As I mentioned, they've been communicating the past few weeks through my dreams, but I want to specifically talk about the one last night because I went to their land, and I remember right before I was falling asleep, I was getting many visuals, as I usually do, but then there was something happened. It was like a spark of light or something, and I just shot out. I just went, and I felt, the whole time I felt like these beings were pushing me. They were pushing me towards, in this tunnel, which I often fall through tunnels through my dreams, and when I take psychedelics, I go through tunnels before I get to the other end. And so last night I was met with my brother. We were dropped into this desert-esque land. It was very barren, and it looked like a mirage, but it was really happening. There were two other individuals who, now reflecting, were a reflection of my brother and I. They were crawling in the desert, and they were dehydrated and starving, but they were digging for something. They were trying to find something hidden, and they were being prompted by these beings. And I just remember we were walking, and it being so hot, and I really couldn't breathe the same. And I remember looking to the right, and there was this huge body of water, and it looked as if it was like a hot spring. And it was very blue though, and I remember going to it and trying to drink the water, but I was distracted because it felt like the further and further down I reached for this water, it just kept going down, 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 down. So it was like the water was an illusion of some sort. And then I just remember before I was transported to this land, my mom was in it, and she was saying, I'm going to assist you and your brother, but you specifically, my brother just ended up coming with, I guess, but I'm going to assist you to go on a venture that you wouldn't be able to do by yourself. And I didn't know what this meant, but in the dream, I think it meant like financially, and she was going to plan it or something like that. But she was asking me where I wanted to go. And then I remember for a long time in the dream, voices just kept saying Andromeda, 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 like forever. And then eventually I knew that I was going to be sent to Andromeda. And for some odd reason, we were trying to find it on the map, on just a normal map, and it didn't exist, but there was a ticket there. So it wasn't on any maps. No one else knew of it, but for some odd reason, there was not like a flight ticket, but just a ticket to get there. So I don't know what kind of ticket it was, but then I remember agreeing to go, and then that's when I was dropped out of the sky pretty much onto the desert land. And then the next few parts of the dreams were me finding this house, and it was an empty house, but it had many like little doorways and like drawers that had drawers and drawers and drawers within the drawers. It was all very illusionary, and I felt like I was playing a game throughout my dream. But the next part, I didn't want to share this, but I'm going to. I'm going to skip a huge chapter, but next part was I was given, this child alien thing was given to me, and I was disgusted with it because the mother I looked over and she was feeding the baby alien thing, and I thought the way that it was being fed was foul because it had this tube connected to its belly, and it was just eating and recycling itself pretty much. So it was sucking up all of the filth and all of the blood and all of the just poop, everything, and it was just eating it. And the image was really disgusting. It was like a suction cup, and it like moved like this, and I remember watching the interaction between I don't even want to call it baby, but it was like alien and then the mother, and it was violating her because she went to kiss it and nurture it, and it put its suction on her tongue, and it was like sucking her tongue. I don't know. As a human, this just didn't seem right. And then the mother like pulled back and was like, no, no, no. And then the next scene, I only saw, the mother didn't notice, but the alien baby little suction mouth thing went under her dress. And as you may know or can understand, it violated her in that area. And at this point, I was really angry that something that was supposed to be so innocent was violating the mother. But then the next scene was the mother was gone, and I was left with the baby. But I really didn't want anything to do with it, so I left it in a box. But then I realized, because I was on the beach watching the waves, I realized the baby was going to die, and that even though I was disgusted with it and what it had done, I was called to take care of it. And so I went back to the baby, and the dream continues on, but I just wanted to share the main points. And I'm going to leave it for you guys to decipher and to guess what it might symbolize or mean. But yeah, for the very first time in a dream, I was completely aware and very lucid while doing this, that I was being assisted by the Andromedan people throughout the entire dream, and that I was in their world and in their time and space. So yeah, that's my story so far in my dream of the Andromedans. And I'd like to also tell you the dates of me channeling. My very first channeling was October 26th, and then the next day was October 27th. So if that has any significance to you, feel free to share or comment. Thank you for listening. Thank you for not, maybe you are thinking I'm insane, but not judging me, I guess. Bye.